everybody, welcome back to the wonderful part of the world that is the Lot region here in southwestern France for the 12th round of the FIA Motocross World Championship. We are at Lacapelle, Marival, MXGP Race 2 just around the corner. And if you've never been here before, please put it on your bucket list. It is a fabulous location. All around here, gems, castles on hills and stone architecture. Lots to see, lots to do. And food, wine, all fantastic as well. But we've still got the MXGP to deal with here. MXGP Race 2 coming up. Their riders are out on the sighting lap now. Warm when the sun is out, 17 degrees, but chilly at night. Fans don't care about that, though. They are well in their element at the moment. 1,600 metres or thereabouts, the race length of the track here this weekend. It's hard, it's slick, shaly, almost very much like Lacapelle in its texture, with that firm base and that loose shale dirt on top. But it's been a real challenge for the riders, not least for those who struggled to get out of the start. So, and if race 1 is anything to go by, then we may be in for a bit of a treat here in race 2, because whilst it was a bit of a slow burner, it definitely sparked into life the last few laps. We will see the highlights in a few moments' time. Fans just enjoying being here, being out and about, and being at the motocross race, where in this part of the world, motocross is everything, bigger than football, bigger than everything else. And great to see a racetrack packed to the rafters as well. We've had flares. There's a whole bunch of people carrying these tricolor flags that walked across the football pitch. There must have been about 50 of them. Air horns, chainsaws, trumpet things, like vuvuzela type things. And they were loud, loud, loud. And they are enjoying themselves. They're having an absolute blast. And so are we. Anyway, let's take a look at the highlights of MXGP Race 1. Here's how it went down. MXGP Race 1, Jorge Prado from the centre couldn't quite get across. He got nudged going into the first turn. Worse, as we hit the foxhole shot line, Henry Jacobi went down, and so too did Tom Cotton. Opening lap, Sean Simpson got landed on by Brian Bogers. I'm sure we'll talk to him about that in a moment, but it was Herlings who led. Koldenoff was in 5th look, dropping down the hill, and then fell going into turn 5 as he was just behind Pauls Jonas. Febvre was in 3rd, but not for much longer. He made this pass on Siwa on the opening lap to keep Herlings in his sights. The fans roared their approval. He then went after Jeffrey Herlings, and on lap 8, exactly the same thing happened. He clobbered the yellow marker on the way down. He took over the lead, and from there, it looked like he was going to check out. Tony Cairoli found his way onto the rear wheel and passed Jeremy Van Horebeke. That was for 5th place. Took him a while to do that, though. Shortly after that, the Belgian would fall as Koldenoff made this move around the outside of Prado. He eventually came home in 13th. Prado eventually a little bit further back. This was Van Horebeke just losing the front, hanging his head on the way down. He did pick himself up eventually, though, but he was a bit second-hand. Tim Geiser battled. He got up to 8th, fell down a couple positions, eventually came back to 6th, just behind Antonio Cairoli. A slight mistake with just over a lap to go allowed Jeffrey Herlings a sniff, and this is how close they were on the run towards the finish line on the final lap. But it was Febvre who edged out Herlings by about 0.7 of a second. Siwa 3rd, Jonas Cairoli a top 5. A big win, though, for Febvre in that first race. Let's go down to the grid, though. Lisa was down there. She caught up with the not riding here today rider, Jordi Tixier, and before that, Sean Simpson.
So we're almost ready for the final race of the day. Let's catch up with a couple of the riders, the first being Sean Simpson. Sean, it was a tough one, wasn't it, that first race for you? Just tell us about it, and are you okay?
Yeah, it was not ideal. I only got 1 lap done, unfortunately. Come together with another rider about halfway around the lap. Tweaked my thumb that I hurt at the Nations. Got the start button caught underneath the throttle housing here. Just couldn't get the bike to start up. Time I got up and going, you know, I was more or less a lap down. So decided just to pull it in for that one, unfortunately. You know, I hate DNF, so it really hurt to do that. But hey-ho, we're here, we're healthy, and we're ready for Moto2.
Well, this racetrack here is hard, it's slick, it's dry. Last race of the day, how's it shaping up at this stage?
just watching MX2 there, it definitely looks like there hasn't been too many more lines formed. So it's going to be important to get a good start, stay out of trouble. The first lap round here, because it's so tight, it's really, really manic. There's riders going left, right, going down. So just try and, fingers crossed, get around the first lap okay, and keep at it. Hopefully I'll have a little bit of energy, you know, a bit extra energy than some of the other guys. So play that to my advantage and hopefully come away with a bag of points.
Best of luck. Thanks, Sean. Okay, now the next rider I'd like to catch up with is Jordi Tixier. Jordi, we haven't seen you for a while. You're here. Please give us an update on how you're feeling and how everything's going.
Yeah, you know, it's always difficult to be to the French GP and not riding. So, you know, it's a little bit a shame, but I had a small injury to my hand, which I need surgery. So a few weeks off, but you know, everything is going well. I came here, you know, to see the fans. Being to the home crowd is always something special. So hope to be back in Trentino normally in a few weeks, and looking forward to it.
And also congrats on the German title as well.
Yeah, of course, you know, it was one of my goals for the season, so I'm pretty stoked about it. The last 2 weeks I rode with the injury, but I really want this title, you know, so I gave my best to it. It works well, and now it's a shame to miss some GPs, but yeah, looking forward to be back as soon as possible.
And when you do come back, what would the aim be for the last few rounds of the season for you?
Actually, we don't know exactly when we're going to be back, but you know, everything is going in the right way, so now it's almost a month, so hopefully to be back in Trentino, I would say. So still 5 GPs to go before being back. You know, it's going to be great. It could be great, you know, so looking forward to it.
Well, enjoy the atmosphere here. I know it's not quite the same as racing, but enjoy your day. Thanks, Jordi. Good luck there to all the guys. It's time for the final race of the day, MXGP Race 2.
Let's take a look at the top 5 as we head into race 2 here at the MXGP of France. Jeffrey Herlings now on 4:35. He's regained the championship lead for now. Romain Febvre just 3 points behind him, and Tim Geiser 2 behind the Frenchman. 5 points separating the top 3. Jorge Prado is 41 adrift of the Slovenian and 20 points clear of his teammate Tony Cairoli. So still a lot to play for, but that top 3 still inseparable after the first race today. Here's how the riders line up then for MXGP Race 2, the same as they did this afternoon for race 1. Herlings on pole for the 8th time. Romain Febvre starts from 2nd position for the 2nd time this year. Jeremy Seewer with his best qualifying of the year in 3rd, and then Paul Jonas. Van Horebeke, I tried to go find him, and it looks like he's down there in the grid. Look, just next to Jonas. Couldn't find him in the paddock area because he was in another van camper somewhere else, and it's like a mission to get around this place. It really is. So anyway, they said he was all right, and good to see the Jerry man back there behind the gate, number 89. Jeffrey Herlings, Red Bull KTM Factory Racing, came to within 3/4 of a second of stealing the glory away from Romain Febvre at the end of the race, but he had to settle for 2nd, and it was the Monster Energy Kawasaki rider, number 3, Romain Febvre, who now has to get a good start if he is to stand at the top step of the podium at his home Grand Prix here today. Jeremy Seewer, 3rd. He was also 3rd in the race, so the Monster Energy Yamaha rider, we're keen to do the same and hopefully bag another podium. He's only got the 1 visit to the podium this year so far. That was Lockett, Czech Republic, 3rd overall. He's in a very good place to do that again today. 41, Paul Jonas, standing construct, Gas Factory Racing Team. Another solid performance for him in race 1. Came home in 4th place, edging out Cairoli and Tim Geiser. Tim Geiser will be hoping for a better 2nd race as well. He needs a good start, first of all, because the championship could not be tighter. 5 points separate Herlings, Febvre and Geiser. Who will it be that leads the championship after we are done today? The Fly Racing 15-second board is up for the final time here, the MXGP of France. All eyes on the Foxhole shot line now. Once again, Jeremy Seewer late to get settled, but whatever it is that he's doing, it works. As Cairoli grabs a Foxhole shot, it looked like it was Cairoli around the outside. It's him who leads anyway. Herlings 2nd, Febvre 3rd, Seewer 4th, Jonas in 5th position. Geiser just in there as well, and I think Koldenhoff once again as we head downhill for the first time. This is all where it went wrong in race 1 for Koldenhoff. Looks like he's managed to keep it up on 2 wheels as Herlings, an early attack on his teammate, who loses 2 positions. So Herlings and Febvre capitalise on a mistake from Tony Cairoli. Looks like Geiser slipped into 4th position already as well. So Geiser 4th, Jonas 5th. A hard, slick racetrack, 30 minutes plus 2. It's dry, it's fast. There's going to be some square edges out there as well. The riders will be mindful of that. Try and keep it nice and tight there. There's where the driver's up the inside. Some horrible edges on the outside. French fans all around this racetrack urging Febvre forward like he did in race 1. Jeffrey Herlings, though, might not give him the opportunity this time around. Calvin Vlaanderen in the yellow. Good start for the Kevin van Venrooy Yamaha rider. He disappeared from 9th with about 6 or 7 laps to go. Saw him just pushing his bike up the side of the track, so hopefully better luck this time for Cal. Working the way towards the end of this first lap, though. Herlings 1.5 seconds clear of Febvre. Cairoli 3rd, Geiser 2:43 is in 4th, 41 of Jonas 5th, then Seward, Vlaanderen, Van Horebeke 8th, Olsen 9th, Koldenhoff 10th, Ferrato 11th, Lapino 12th, then Prado, Van Donnick, Briljikov, Watson 16, Bogus 17, Paturel 18, Gilbert 19, Arno Tonis 20th, just ahead of Jasikonis and Jacobi and Valentin Guillot. Poor first lap again for Sean Simpson. He wanted a better start, he wanted to utilise that energy, but he's down in 31st place at the moment. So, not sure what happened there, but maybe a mistake on that opening lap somewhere. That's how it would be in terms of the fight for the podium. Bottom left corner of your screen if you put the flag out now, but this being motocross, there's still 27 minutes plus 2 laps to run. Anything can change. It usually does. Paul's Jonas having a good run here today, though. 5th at the moment, 4th in race 1. Gap between the first 2 still looks about the same as it was, 2.5 or thereabouts. Good to see Tony Cairoli up there as well. Took him an eternity to move from 6th to 5th in race 1. He's now in 3rd place, and that'll be good enough for a podium for the 9-time champ. But he can't just rest on his laurels, Cairoli, because if Geiser finds his way past, Geiser finds himself on the podium, because it's very, very tight. 36 points for Cairoli in 3rd. Then you've got 35, 34, 33. See where Jonas and Geiser. So you still can't predict this one, even this far out. Riders just starting to spread out a little bit. Things have settled down. All the noise for Romain Febvre in 2nd place. Sun as they head up that short little incline there, right in the face of the riders. We are 10th of October, after all. It's a shame when he went out in Riola Sardo with his injury in time practice, Tony Cairoli, because he was definitely a threat for the championship at that point. With everything else that was going on around that time, certainly with the rider behind him, could, as he comes up short, could have come away leading the championship had things gone to plan, but came away from there 45 points down in the championship, arrived here 62 points off the championship lead. So now just going through the motions, trying to pick up as many points as possible and see where he ends up at the end of it all. Herlings, fastest lap of the race, a 1:47.1, 2.8 seconds clear of Romain Febvre. Is Febvre pacing himself here, or has he just got nothing to go after the number 84? Meanwhile, Antonio Cairoli hanging on to that third place, quite comfortably so as well. About a second and a half or thereabouts over Geisser. Geisser, so far, no reply to Cairoli's pace. But how many times have we seen him just turn it on as well? Tim Geisser, when he's comfortable, when he's settled, takes a half a second here, then a 3/4 of a second. Next thing, he's all over you, find a way past from out of nowhere. But he knows the championship is important as well. Can't afford to take any unnecessary risks. We go to Spain in a week's time. And then we have 5 in a row in Italy. A triple header at Trentino, a double header in Mantova. There is no margin for error. Febvre knows that as well. That would be the overall Grand Prix as it stands now. The championship chase, though, crucially, Jeffrey Herlings on 460, Romain Febvre on 454, so 6 points Herlings would leave here leading by. And then Tim Geisser would go from first to third in the championship on to 448. Where's Jorge Prado? He's in 13th position, pretty much where he started on the opening lap. He knows any points are important points. After that crash last week with his teammate on the finish line in Germany, here he is. He's going through the motions. He's trying to pick up those points. He's got Brian Bogers behind him. He's got Albi Ferrato ahead of him. Can't miss that yellow top, can you? Then Van Donnick in there, and so too Sever Brilikov. They are 15th and 16th, but it's Prado here we're looking at in 13th position at the moment. The Red Bull KTM rider from Spain. Maybe just, whilst he's not 100% here today, maybe feels he needed to ride because in a week's time we are at this home Grand Prix in Madrid. Close to Madrid. Of course, he was victorious there last year. Right, let's have a look at the splits. Sector 2, Febvre a full second quicker than Herlings that time around. A little bit front end high through the waves there, though. So, both these two starting to turn it up a little bit. They are 6 seconds clear of Cairoli. Romain Febvre really starting to get warmed up all of a sudden. Got into second on the opening lap in race 1. He stayed there for 7 laps, closed in on Herlings, made his move on lap 8 and stayed there till the checkered flag. Arno Tonis, the Hostetler Yamaha rider, been down on his right side. That doesn't look good for the rider who finished 7th in race 1. What kind of response will we see from Herlings? Is he aware that Febvre is closing? Well, 24.6, 25.0, gains 4 tenths. Same place where Koldenhoff crashed. That is Arno Tonis in that bottom corner. Oh, he's getting closer again, isn't he? Gap was 1.5 seconds as they hit the line. Sector 2 coming to an end now. Cairoli set the fastest Sector 1, though, of the race. 27.5, pulls another 3 tenths back, does Romain Febvre. So loses 4 tenths, pulls back 3. And we know he's good over on this side of the racetrack. This is where he was able to gain that momentum to think about the pass at the end of this straight in race 1. It really has been about these two today, hasn't it? Herlings and Febvre. Stays like this, they tie on points for the Grand Prix victory, and the win goes to Jeffrey Herlings. Febvre knows he needs to beat the bullet to stand on the top step of the podium. Easier said than done, though, even at home in France, with this many people cheering for you. 1.5, the gap remains static. The lap times identical, just down to the thousandths. But the belief with which Romain Febvre is riding at the moment, clear to see. He believes he can be world champion again. He believes this is his year. Oh, standing up through the turn. Again, getting closer. Nothing in it. Here's Geiser. He's still in 4th place. He's got Cairoli right there ahead of him. This determines 3rd overall in the Grand Prix. TC stays where he is, then he's 3rd. Otherwise, it's Geiser if he finds his way past the Italian. Tyres fighting for traction as they get on the gas on this hard, slick surface. See the leaders in the background as we focus on this 3rd place battle. Delana up to 7th place. Van Orbik 8, Koldenhoff 9, Olsen 10, Lupino 11. Ferrato is in 12th. Prado, Bogas, Van Donnick, Brilikov, Watson 17, Pacharel, Jasikonis and Gilbert. Josh Gilbert in 20th position. Geiser, is he just edging closer? About 6/10 last time around. Pretty much locked onto the rear wheel of the KTM. 48.9, so he does a quicker lap time. About 6/10. It was a little bit laboured through that first turn, though, wasn't he? Slow to get on the gas. Bit of a let-off then for the 222. Tony Cairoli realises the danger from behind. He's just set the fastest Sector 1 time, which is from the finish line to that first Monster Energy downhill. 24.2 compared to the 24.9 and 25.0 of Herlings and Febvre respectively, but as he starts to think about pulling clear, oh, we've had a lead change. Romain Febvre has found his way past Jeffrey Herlings. Herlings has made a mistake somewhere. This will soon tell us because, well, we know he's made a mistake, but how much time did it cost him? Because did he just run off the track at the end of the wave section? The place has erupted here. Febvre back on top. Now the game begins. Can he put in a couple of qualifying laps just to break free? 38.8 in Sector 3 compared to the 35.2 from Febvre, so it was a 3-second loss. 2.5 seconds, so maybe nothing more than running wide, got off track. But that has played into the hands, and we are tied at the top of the championship. Herlings and Febvre on 4.57 apiece. Herlings will get it on race wins, though, at the moment. So Romain Febvre tried to apply the pressure. Maybe that's what it was that forced the error. It's down to him now to remain mistake-free. Won the Belgian Grand Prix at Lommel with a 2nd and a race win. His win in race 1 today was his first race win since then. Has been on the podium the last 2 rounds, both of those 3rd place finishes. must have happened somewhere over here, because when they pop back into view, Febvre was leading. He's got a 1.6 second advantage, or that's what it was when he hit the line a moment ago. But he's pulling even further. He's pulling even further clear. Is this going to be a fairy tale return to the French Grand Prix for Romain Febvre? Cairoli and Geiser still locked together as well. Jeffrey Herlings really having to dig deep if he is to find his way back onto the rear wheel of the Kawasaki Ace. 9 laps complete for Febvre. Waiting for our timing to kick in here. 1:48.4 compared to 1:50.3. The gap all of a sudden out to 3.6 seconds. Tony Cairoli, not much in it between him and Geiser either. So as we watch this battle here, just hope that Morgan Jensen is enjoying the action on MXGP TV for the first time. Romain Febvre is, that's for sure. And so are the French fans. Tony Cairoli is enjoying being there in 3rd position. Obviously, he'd much rather be towards the head of the field. Jeffrey Herlings looking like... I'll be careful. Not like he's thrown in the towel, just taking a couple of laps just to sort of get himself sorted again. Not sure where it was he fell. It was somewhere in Sector 3. Or towards the end, yeah, or towards the end, Sector 2. And maybe we have it. But it could only have been at the end of the wave section. But it must have been in that wave section, that top left turn. And maybe while we were following Cairoli and Geiser, but clearly Jeffrey Herlings costing a lot of time, now 3.8 seconds behind, as Febvre puts in another 48.9, a 49.2 for Herlings. Can he regroup with 11.5 minutes plus 2 to go? Every time you have to push, you run the risk of making a little mistake here and there, spinning up, missing a line, missing a rut. Febvre looking so cool at the moment. And it would have been in this corner here where he made that mistake. Could have only have ran on or just not tipped over or whatever, but it was literally that 2.5 seconds it cost him. Romain Febvre having an absolutely fairy tale Grand Prix here at home in France. And if he wins, it's another victory to add to the one that he picked up in 2015 when he was a winner at home in 2016. So it'll be his 3rd Grand Prix success at home if he can maintain this kind of pace, this performance. The gap ahead of Jeffrey Herlings, there you see him at the bottom of the hill. Oh, Van Donnick and Valentin Guillot. A little bit of bar banging going on. Those two fighting over where they're even in the points. Yes, they are. No, they're not. 21 and 22, actually. They're out of the points now. Romain Febvre, solid, 3.7. The gap still remains. Herlings could only take about a tenth out of him that time around. Noise all around this racetrack. Cairoli about 7 seconds further back. He's dealt with the threat of Tim Geiser for now. He's a couple seconds adrift of the Italian. Jonas about 8 seconds further back in 5th. Then Siwa, Vlaanderen, Van Horebeke, Koldenhoff, and TKO, Thomas Kjær Olsen. Herlings really having a push. One thing's for sure, it'll be the tightest championship battle that he would have been involved in. But is he just chipping away, though? We saw this in the latter stages of race 1. He had something up his sleeve then. Has he got something up his sleeve now? Is he going to run out of time? 9 minutes plus 2 laps to go. Looking like he's getting a little bit more fluidity back in his riding. Back markers are going to be key, though. (25.2, 24.9). Febvre Herlings, sector 1. 27.0, 26.8. 33.8, 33.7. So just chipping away. It was 3.76 at the start of lap 12. We're working our way towards the end of the lap now. Febvre is over the line. 2.8. So the gap is coming down. A 49.4 compared to a 48.5. Still nothing in it between Cairoli and Geiser, who is getting closer. A 50.3, 49.8. Cairoli now then, just starting to feel the pressure from Tim Geiser. He could do with those extra 2 championship points. That would put him on 450. 7 behind Herlings and Febvre, who are now tied at the top of the championship. The red plate, though, will stay on the Red Bull KTM of Jeffrey Herlings. Because as it stands right now, Jeffrey Herlings with 8 race wins, Romain Febvre with 3. Rugged racetrack here, isn't it? Just have to be patient with it. You have to bide your time, especially when it's dry like this. What are the splits again between the first 2 riders as we continue to watch this battle between Cairoli and Geiser? The Slovenian inching closer to the Italian. 25.3, 25.0. 3/10, and about 6/10. So this gap is not going to be 2.8 seconds, depending on what the final sector is. It's now 1.7. We are game on. Herlings has got Febvre right in his line of sight. The back end was dancing around as he went under the bridge there. Romain Febvre. And all of a sudden, again, from out of nowhere, Herlings is on the back of the Kawasaki rider, Romain Febvre. Febvre needs to maintain his cool. He will know from his pit boards, he will know from the fans. He'll be able to hear the KTM behind him. Still been a fantastic show of calmness from Romain Febvre. He knows that, first of all, Herlings has to catch him. Then he's got to find a way past him or through him. Five minutes to go. 5 minutes plus 2 laps. Oh, Herlings trying to sneak up the inside, trying to spook the Frenchman into making a mistake. Will it be a mistake? Will it be good old hard riding? Will it be back markers? Whoa! riding his luck through there, lost his balance, his left foot came off the footrest, Romain Febvre. .04 seconds now. The gap continues to fall in favour of the Dutchman. 4 minutes plus 2 laps to go. Race 1 was 19 laps. We've had 14 laps so far. So strap yourself in for the next 5 laps or so. Yes, it's a tight racetrack. Yes, it's difficult to pass. It's also very, very technical. If it was easy, everybody would be locked together on the same part of the racetrack, and they're not. There's just 2 riders that stood out today, and it's the 2 we're looking at on screen right now, the number 3, the number 84. Back markers ahead. Febvre will be the first to reach them. Whatever happens, it's been a great Grand Prix. He's given the fans what they wanted. Of course, he wants to win the GP for them. Herlings holding a nice tight line through that long sweep in left. Febvre almost off, and the 2 riders almost collided coming out of that corner. Nothing in it as they hit the line. Watch this. Gets on the gas, back end comes around. How Herlings didn't miss Febvre then. The gap now down to 6/10. Does not want to leave it to the last lap like he did in race 1, and as his back end comes around this time. Herlings. The temperament of these 2 riders has been impeccable. They've been calm, they've been collected. One or 2 mistakes are bound to creep in, though, in the final 2 minutes plus 2 laps. Good drive, getting out of the turn for the Kawasaki rider in green. He just got unseated there. Looked like he lost a little bit of drive coming out of the corner, Romain Febvre. And Herlings all over the back of him once more. And he tries to run it up the inside. Thought about it. All of a sudden, Febvre having a look over his shoulder. Is there going to be a repeat pass here like there was in race 1? Not quite. You know someone like Herlings would have gone back and analysed that after the race. Trying to go even tighter. Will Febvre go tight to the inside here? Well, Herlings won't give him the opportunity. He runs it down the inside of the Frenchman, takes over the lead on lap 16. Three laps to go. Herlings has shown his hand. He's played his card. And Geiser has found his way past Cairoli as well. Febvre needs one last push if he's to stand on the top step of the podium here in his home Grand Prix. Herlings is here to spoil the party, though. Dropping downhill. So this is Herlings and Febvre, but coming up into the corner here, this is Geiser on Cairoli. Cairoli knew the pass was coming. That was Geiser for third. Febvre needs to dig deep. He can't allow Herlings just to run away with it. The 2-lap board will go out next time around. The gap was 1.05 seconds as they hit the line. Oh, look how he doubles into that as well. He's created another little double there at the end of the waves, hasn't he? Herlings. Getting good drive out of there. Sector 1, 25.2. Pulled a full second on Sector 1. 4 tenths in Sector 2. We're over the line any moment now. The 2-lap board will go out. On the right-hand side, there you see it. 2 laps to go. And it's 2.4 seconds, the gap between first and second now. Has Herlings broken Febvre? And in the process, broken about 20,000 French hearts as well. Two laps around here, though, is an eternity. This rugged racetrack here in southwest France, providing, back end just kicking out there from Herlings. Wow, there was a warning sign. Just keeps having a look across, wants to know exactly where Febvre is. Watch at the end of the waves here. Wheelies and then doubles over that hole there. Just little things like that, a 10th here, a 10th there. Febvre's not giving up, you know. He is going to give it one last push on the final lap. We are in amongst traffic. .4 was the gap as we go into the final lap. It is now, has it been reduced? Yeah, 1.6. Febvre is mounting an attack. Is he going to leave it too late, though? He needs a qualifying lap to be able to pull this off. .6 seconds. Different options as they crest the Monster Energy, and Herlings legging his way through that first part of the turn as well. He knows he can't afford to switch off. Josh Gilbert, I think, just over on the right-hand side, 3.26. Knows the leaders are coming through, but he can't afford to dither too much there. He takes a look over the shoulder. He sees Febvre there as well. Knows he needs to get out of the way. Herlings pulls 3 tenths in Sector 1 on the Frenchman. Another 3 tenths in Sector 2. And I don't think Gilbert has seen Febvre, you know. And Herlings is going to get a good run towards the finish line. Handful of corners to go. Takes one last look over the shoulder. Sees there is no threat from behind. And Jeffrey Herlings is just a couple of corners away from taking Grand Prix victory number 95. He does it here in France. And he does it with a win in race 2. A little bit further back. This is for Jonas and Sewa. This is for 4th position overall in the Grand Prix here. Cairoli there just ahead of him. Sewa will just run out of time. I think he was in 6th. He's still in 6th behind Jonas. Jonas crosses over the line, and that is going to be 5th place for him. Sewa 6th, Valandren, Koldenhoff, Van Horbik, and Olsen. But another tactical race and another win for Jeffrey Herlings. Got his tactics right this time. Still waiting for the rest of the field to come through. But Romain Febvre just running out of steam in the end. Maybe just got held up on the final half a lap at the crucial moment. Herlings had already played his card. And here he is with Lisa, a Grand Prix winner for the 95th time now.
Jeffrey Herlings, congratulations, your 5th GP win of the season. Perfectly timed pass on Romain Febvre there.
Yeah, it was a good race again, a great start. I just shut off too early and Tony came around the outside, but I managed to pass him first lap. And then I was slowly starting to make a little gap, and then I made a mistake. And I went down. Luckily, I didn't lose too much time, but went back to second. And my glove was a bit of mud, so I had to clean it a bit the first 2 laps, and I got back in my rhythm, and I managed to close up to Romain. Passed him with 3 or 4 to go, and managed to get the win. So 5th GP win of the year, 95 in my career, so looking good. I think it was a good race. It was a difficult track for me. Start swap point, so I got to give it up to Red Bull KTM Racing for the good job. So up to next weekend in Spain.
Thanks, Jeffrey.
A difficult track for him. Needed good starts. That's exactly what he did. And Jeffrey Herlings wins his 5th Grand Prix of the season, his 95th career victory now. He has a 6-point lead at the top of the championship. The red plate was on the Honda of Tim Geiser for just 1 week. He has it back, but we still have 6 rounds to go. But for now, he will enjoy this moment because that was a tough one. Jeffrey Herlings, your winner from race 2. Romain Febvre second, from Tim Geiser, Tony Cairoli, Paul Jonas and Jeremy Seewer, with Calvin Villana in 7, Glenn Coldenhoff 8th. Jeremy Van Horbik bounces back off the floor from race 1 to come home 9th in race 2. Thomas Kjær Olsen 10th, Albi Ferrato 11th, Jorge Prado 12th ahead of Lapino, Brian Bogas, Benoit Paturel, Arminas Jasikonis, Seba Brilyakov, Henry Jacobi, Josh Gilbert and Ben Watson. The overall, Jeffrey Herlings wins the French Grand Prix here, and it's his 95th Grand Prix victory. Romain Febvre, Tim Geiser join him on the podium. Look how tight it is in the championship, though. Tim Geiser arrived here with the championship leader's red plate. He's 4 behind Romain Febvre, 10 behind Jeffrey Herlings, who regains the championship leader's red plate here today. 1 or 2 other movers up and down. TKO gains 2 positions, breaks into the top 10 at the expense of Ben Watson, who now finds himself in 11th place. KTM on top in the Manufacturers' Championship, though. Honda second, Kawasaki, Yamaha, GasGas and Husqvarna.
On va accueillir les lauréats dans quelques secondes. Au podium final, je rappelle qu'il s'agit du classement général de la journée, l'addition des 2 manches. Il y a une égalité de points, mais je rappelle le règlement, c'est la 2e manche qui départage les pilotes en cas d'égalité de points.
Almost getting ready for the podium here.
Il y a une prime pour la 2e manche, non pas une prime de points, mais une prime de position.
French fans now finally allowed onto the circuit. And it should be quite a noisy one as well, that we've got the French fans back, just fans in general, but a lot of them are going to be French this weekend. Take a look at the foxhole shot, shall we? Antonio Cairoli. Red Bull KTM Factory Racing. And for Tony Cairoli, that's his first of the season. Getting ready for the podium then. A whole array of flags and personalities down there. But 3rd overall this weekend, Tim Geiser, Team HRC. Arrived here as a championship leader. Looks like it's been a tough Grand Prix for the Slovenian. Romain Febvre, 2nd overall. He tried. But the fans appreciate the effort that the Monster Energy Kawasaki rider has put in this weekend. Jeffrey Herlings, Red Bull KTM Factory Racing, though, on top again for the 95th time in his career, his 5th win of the season. And he extends his lead in the top of the championship after regaining the lead in race 1. Dirk Grubel on the podium with him once again. But a fascinating Grand Prix, where Herlings came out on top once again. Vincent Labarthe on hand to offer the 3rd place trophy to Tim Geiser. We've had a great time down here, by the way. Beautiful part of the world, a part of the world I know very well. But Vincent Royalers, I think that was. Romain Febvre picking up the 2nd place trophy, though. Biggest cheer for him. How cool would it have been, though, had he have got to stand on the top step of the podium? Jacques Ball, the FIM Vice President, delivers the winner's trophy to Jeffrey Herlings. Probably not for the first time either.
Michel Lavessière qui va maintenant récompenser Dirk Romain, le team manager vainqueur. Michel Lavessière, vice-président du Grand Prix Jacques.
Michel, that was quick. That was very quick. Dirk Grubel takes the winning team trophy today for Red Bull KTM Factory Racing. Another one on the shelf for them. Just the one small matter to attend to, and that is the championship leader's red plate. It arrived here on the front of the Honda of Tim Geiser, but Mr. Antonio Alia Portela will deliver it this week back to Jeffrey Herlings. These two playing red plate tennis in the last few races. So with the formalities done, just the one thing left to do. National anthem of the Netherlands for Jeffrey Herlings. National anthem of Austria for KTM winning manufacturer as Romain Febvre ponders what could have been had he have just won that 2nd race. But Jeffrey Herlings on top once again. Romain Febvre 2nd overall, Tim Geiser 3rd. While they enjoy the podium celebrations, let's just have a quick recap as to what happened in MXGP Race 2 that just decided the outcome of the French Grand Prix.
Voilà, donc quelques secondes donc.
Tony Cairoli over the foxhole shot line for the first time this year. Closely followed by Jeffrey Herlings, his teammate. Romain Febvre was right there in the mix, just where he needed to be as well. A slight mistake there, and at the top of the hill, allowed Herlings and Febvre to move from 2nd and 3rd to 1st and 2nd. Cairoli then came under attack from Tim Geiser. The Slovenian pursued the Italian the entire race. All of a sudden, Romain Febvre was the new leader after a rare Herlings mistake over on the backside of the circuit. They almost clashed coming out of this turn as Herlings sensed an opportunity, not once but twice, had to pull out of that challenge there. He then did run the Frenchman to the outside, took over the lead, but it wasn't all plain sailing from there. Bottom right of your screen, Tim Geiser passed Kai Rowley for third late on in the race. But it was Jeffrey Herlings who hung on to win race 2 and the overall Grand Prix. Here he is with Lisa.
Jeffrey Herlings, massive congratulations. You lost the lead in race 1. You really weren't going to make the same mistake twice, but more importantly, you've regained that championship lead.
Yeah, definitely. It's good to have the championship lead back. You know, the points gap is really small again, so still at this point it doesn't mean much, but prefer to have it than not have it, so looking forward to next week. Today was a good day, you know, first moto was a bit off first moto, a few laps, and then Romain got over me and then managed to close back up, but I couldn't get around him, and second moto I was leading, tipped over, and had to really work for that one, but came out with another overall, so super happy with the weekend, and looking forward to next weekend.
Thanks, Jeffrey. Second overall today we have Romain Febvre. Romain, mixed emotions for you. Solid day of racing. You won the first race, couldn't quite hold on to that lead in that second race. But your fans aren't disappointed. They're happy to see you on the box.
Yeah, it's a good weekend overall, but yeah, I'm really disappointed. But yeah, it's how it is. I was leading also the second moto when Jeffrey made a mistake, and then yeah, I thought I could win the GP at home. It would be awesome, but yeah, no. So. Next weekend in Spain, I will try my best, and yeah, championship is getting really interesting, so that's a good for us.
Thanks very much. Third overall today, we have Tim Geiser. Tim, quite a tough first race for you. I think you made a little mistake. Better placed in that second race, but it still looked like a pretty tough day. You worked hard for this podium spot.
Yeah, it was a difficult day for us. Already in the morning, I didn't feel the best. It was difficult to make a lap time for me. And then bad stars didn't help it as well, you know, in both motos. Start was really important on this kind of track. First one, I even crashed in the second lap, so I went back to 10 and then fight my way back a little bit, you know, to 6th. Second one, I was struggling behind Tony, and it was difficult to pass him. I felt that I was faster, but it was one main line. But on the end, I managed to pass him, so finished third overall. On the podium, it's good. We lost some ground, but still long season. So I will try to enjoy as much as possible. I want to say a huge thank you to everyone around me, all my team, and everyone. Thank you.
Thanks, Tim.
Third overall for Tim Geiser in Team HRC. Tough day today. A 6 and a third, but good points consolidated. He might be 10 points off the lead in the championship, but as we know, anything can change at the drop of a hat. We move to Spain in a week's time, where he will hope to gain points on his rivals. Second overall, Romain Febvre would have loved to have won here at home in France. He led race 2 after winning race 1. And for a while, we thought the fairy tale would come true, but he just had to yield to Jeffrey Herlings today in that second race. And it was Jeffrey Herlings who was victorious. In terms of race wins, he arrived here with, well, it depends how you look at it, 181 officially, but based on the 2 super final wins that he picked up, where he didn't actually cross the line first, 179 in the books, but 181 now becomes 182 race wins. And for Jeffrey Herlings, that's win number 95 now. We are out of time here in France. Thanks for joining us today from Lacapelle, Marival. We go to Spain in a week's time for round 13 of the FIM Motocross World Championship. The MXGP of Spain is back into Xanadu, Arroyo Molinos, where we were last year. So from me, Paul Mailing, and all of the team here, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye for now.